Hey everybody, Joe here. Nice of you to join me. Thanks for coming. Okay, welcome to MVP 5. Uh, what we're going to be doing here tonight is we're going to be watching the mix of my Southern peach pie recipe. Now, this is the one that you're going to see me filling at the very end of the bottle that you're going to see me filling at the very end. Just want you to take a look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that absolutely beautiful? I mean, that is absolutely so crystal clear that it's not even funny. This is great stuff. It really turned out very nicely. I've been vaping the smaller bottle that I had there that you'll also see me filling at the end also. Okay, couple of little quick notes. You're going to see me making some mistakes in here. I'm going to be sitting there scratching my head trying to figure out what the hell I was doing. I cleared up all of that down in the show notes down below. I made the notations as to exactly what it should be. I did not include the recipe in written format because you can get it from the video. If you've got any questions about it, jot me a line down in the comments down below here, and I'll try to get back to you as quick as I can. But one thing that you need to take away from this experience, and that's the reason why I put this up the way I put it up, is because I want you to see me making the mistakes. Because if you see me making the mistakes, you're going to remember the mistakes yourself. Visual memory is a very, very vivid thing. And if you see me making the mistakes, you're going to remember them, and you're going to not make them yourself. That's one of the things I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to show you what can go wrong and give you tips on how to avoid it in the future for yourself. Take notes. Remember that. Take notes. Notes that you can go back to in a month, 2 months, even 2 or 3 days in the future, that you can actually go back to and that you'll understand. Double check them after you write them down to make sure that what you wrote down is exactly what you want to remember and how you want it to remember. One of the things you're going to see me in here is get caught on a typo that I put in myself. I have since remedied that typo, and you'll see the remedy down in the show notes down below. And I've also put in a few other little thoughts about what's going on here, so that way you'll be able to understand what's happening. But suffice it to say, the most important thing you need to remember here is take notes. Also remember this. This stuff is fun to do. Okay? If you're not enjoying yourself doing the DIY, by all means, go out and buy your nick or your juice from an online vendor. If you don't feel like getting your hands dirty, you don't feel like having to sit there and clean up all the mess afterwards, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Whatever works for you and keeps you off of the analogs, so be it. Okay? This is something that I'm bringing to you so you can understand that this is easy to do. Okay, a lot of people that I've heard go, "Oh my God, you DIY?" You know, they look at somebody who does their own DIY as being something akin to an alchemist sitting down in a basement and mixing all of these foaming chemicals together to come up with something that absolutely tastes like liquid gold. Well, it looks like liquid gold, and to me, it tastes like liquid gold because I made this recipe for myself, and I like it. Okay? Also, you have to remember something else. These recipes are not carved in stone. They are living, breathing things that you will change. You will make mistakes and go, oh my God, that's absolutely fantastic, or oh my God, that's absolute shit. With each mistake you make, with that comes out good, you will remember it. With each mistake that you make that comes out like crap, you're going to understand it too, and you're going to remember it. And with your notes, you'll be able to avoid the crap in the future. Okay? The divots in the road are there. You just have to find them, and then just make sure you make a little map. That's your notes of where those divots are, so you don't hit them again in the future when you re-travel that road yet again. Okay? It's been a long night. It's like 3 something in the morning right now, and I am like absolutely knackeredly crazy tired. So yeah, I'm rambling on here a little bit. So I'm going to just cut now to going into the video so you can see what's going on. I've also put a few comments here at the end of the video so you can to try and cover it. But please, if you have any questions, just drop me a little note down the bottom. I'll try and get back to you as quick as possible. If you like what you see here, please subscribe. Okay, the button's right down there in the lower left-hand corner. The little red, the little red button. I think it's down in the lower left-hand corner, and the like button that's on the other side over there. Let me know. Okay, this is how I learn. This is how this channel is going to evolve. If I don't hear back from you, I'm not going to know what you're interested in. Remember, when I start doing equipment reviews again, all of this stuff, I am, at least at this time, not getting anything from anybody here free of charge for review. Everything that you're seeing me do here, I bought with my own money, so I have to keep the vape budget in balance. And so, don't go asking for, big Germans and stuff like that, because I can't afford those things. I can't even afford a real K-Fun. This is a clone. It's a one-for-one clone, but it's still a clone. It works exactly like it, but it's still a clone. Okay? If I could afford a genuine K-Fun 4, I would most definitely have one, but I can't. Just an idea. When I do have a genuine product, I will tell you that it's a genuine. If it's a clone, I will tell you it's a clone. I have nothing against clones because I have to live within a budget. So does everybody else out there. So if that's all you can afford and it keeps you off the smokes, then by all means do what you have to do in order to keep yourself off the smokes. Okay, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I have to live within my vape budget. So having said all of that and being absolutely tired, let's just go below decks and we'll take a look at the mixed video, and this way I can get this thing put to bed and I can stop rambling on like an inane idiot. Alright? Let's go down. Alright? Again, what we're going to do now is I've decided that I'm going to, instead of doing just 60 milliliters of my Southern Peach Pie recipe here, I'm going to do 120 mils. So I'm going to show you what we do to get that. This recipe application that I use here, as I said last time, was able to scale the recipe up from whatever it is to whatever you want to do, but it does have one limitation. It only goes up to 100 milliliters as the maximum it'll scale up to. Up here on my screen, the recipe scaled up to 60 milliliters, and we're just going to double the amount that shows up here. Now, my peach is going to be an issue. I don't have enough peach here to scale it up exactly. So it's going to be a little light on the peach, but when you're doing this for yourself, you can fudge it a little bit and it'll be 99% there. And besides, it might actually turn out pretty good because of the lighter peach flavor in there. It's only going to be about 4 milliliters off. Is not really that much, so it's kind of like ballpark, shall we say, figures. So it should actually work out not too bad. It should be pretty damn close. So, all right, having said that, let's get to it. So we need, at 60 milliliters, it would be 3.60 milliliters for the base nicotine liquid. So since we're going to be doubling this up, that goes up to 7.2. Need a little bit more, almost 7 mils. There we go. And then we take this down to 7.2, like so. Oh, can't see. Even there you have a hard time. Take my word for it, it's 7.2. Okay, so we stick that into here, and then we move that over to there. Okay, 7.2. So we cap the nicotine, put it to one side, out of the way. Next, propylene glycol, 3.90. So that's 7.8 milliliters of PG. Now, for 60 milliliters, it calls for 44.4 milliliters of VG. So we're going to go to 88.8 milliliters of PG. 88.8. So we have our VG here. 50 trusty 50 milliliter dispensing syringe. You'll notice every time I use the VG, I use it without a syringe, without a needle on here. It's because with the needle, it's just way too hard to pull this. Okay, so our target is 88.8. This is 50. I just put in there. All right, so 88 minus 50, that's 38.8. So closest I can get with this syringe is 88, and we have to go over to a 1 milliliter syringe, and that's 38 there. 38 plus 50 is 88. Now we need 0.8. 0.8. 88.8 milliliters of VG. Now, here you can see, more readily see the way that the VG and the PG interact with each other, how they don't mix very well. See? See that cloudiness that's in there, that striping that's in there? That's the reason why we use the bullet to mix everything up. Because otherwise, just shaking this, it's never going to fully incorporate with each other. Never. Never going to fully incorporate. Okay, so that's done. Now, since this is going to be 120 milliliters, we're going to add the individual flavorings to the base, unlike what we did last time where we made the base and added the flavorings to each of the little 10 milliliter samplers. So, eggnog flavor says for 60 milliliters, that's 1.2, so we're going to go to 2.4 for the eggnog. 2.4. All right, so we have 2.4 milliliters of eggnog. That is, by the way, a 2% solution. Okay, butter rum. What? Oof, boy. God, that smells like Christmas time already. Okay, Flavor Apprentice butter rum. 1.5% for 120 milliliters of final juice. That comes to 0.9 for 60, 1.8. That's 1. 0.8. All right. Juicy peach, 6%. Now, remember I said that I'm not going to have enough for a full 120 milliliters at 6%. So 3.6 for 6% at 60 milliliters would come to 7.2 milliliters at 120. So I believe I have only 6.8. So that would probably put us at about a 5 point something. 6.8. 6.8 instead of 7.2. Every last drop. Since we're already under on this, we might as well. Okay. So that's got to go on the list up there with all the rest of my empties. Okay. So we got the peach in. A little shy on the peach, but we've got it in. Lemon, 2%. At 60 milliliters, that's 1.2 milliliters of lemon. 2% at 120 milliliters would be 2.4 milliliters. So we have lemon here. $2.4. Yeah, put a hurting on that. Okay, eggnog on board, lemon on board, juicy peaches on board, apple. Lorenz apple, 2%, 2.4 milliliters also. I know this is not supposed to be, but it smells like a cross between a Macintosh and a Granny Smith. A little bit, no, actually it smells more like a, Red Delicious. That's what it smells like, Red Delicious. A Red Delicious apple. All right, 2.4. Now, since this application only allows me to put in 5 in there I had to add a little in my notes section down below. It says add 1.5 milliliters of cheesecake per 10 milliliters that you're making. So 1.5 times 120. That would be 18 milliliters. No, that's not right. What the hell did I do there? Now that's got to be per 100 milliliters. That's got to be a typo I put in there. What the hell did I do here with this? All right, you know what we're going to do here? So we're going to do a little experiment here. We're going to make this 4% for the cheesecake. All right. So 2.4 will be 2%. 4.8 would be 4%. 4.8 milliliters. So that brings it up to 4%. Yeah, we're going to leave it there. Now, I'm going to use 1% of sweetener and smooth in here, just to turn around and make sure that everything is like it's got the right sweetness and flavoring to it. Let me think for a minute here. See, this is the thing about when you're doing your own. You have to think about what you're going to do. Yeah, let's go with 0.5%. That sounds a little bit more reasonable. So, 12 drops for 120 milliliters. $12 drops at 120 milliliters. That comes out to 1/2 of 1%. That's sweetener. And we're going to do the same thing here. 12 drops to 120 milliliters for 1/2 of 1%. $12 drops. So we have 12 drops of sweetener and smooth on board. 30, 60, 90, 120. Ethyl maltol. I always put in 2 drops per 30 milliliters. All right, 2 drops per 30 milliliters. So it's okay. Everything is on board. So let us close this up. Now remember, we're going to be putting this on here until it turns a nice frothy, milky white. Ooh, you see that? You see how the flavorings have separated and have not incorporated properly? See that? See all that ribboning in there? That's all the different flavors I just put in there, mixed in with the PG and the VG and the nicotine in there, and how you see how it doesn't incorporate. No matter how much you shake this or how many times you beat this with a whisk or something like that, it's never going to incorporate properly. That's where baby here comes in. Oh, by the way, that's what it looks like only after 2 hours. My little 10 milliliter samplers. Notice it's already clearing. These here, because they're single flavors, they should be ready to sample within another couple of hours. Well, hold on to your ears, folks. Here goes noise. And there we go. Kind of looks like whipped cream. Soft peaks. Now, since these are only 100 milliliter bottles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break out another one of these. There we go. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Holy crike. Oh, this smells so good. Oh, Jesus. I mean, this smells so good, I almost want to drink it right here. I won't. Don't get me wrong, I won't. But this is like, oh, and it's toasty warm too. All right, this is going to be a pleasure to vape. I have that feeling. Okay. Ooh, that is toasty warm. It's almost like a little hand warmer. Okay, so now we have a 30 milliliter bottle here. So I should have 20 milliliters in here, which means it should fit into this with no issue. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we have 132, 134, 136. So we've gained actually 16 milliliters of volume to this just by putting it into the magic bullet and letting it froth up. 16 milliliters of volume over the mathematical and actual measurings that we had. So, having said that, I'm going to have to break out another one of these 100 milliliter unicorns because I'm not breaking out two of the 30 milliliter jars. Because that's what it'd take me to do this. Where do you think you're going? Stand up straight. Here we go. So now, the next time you go out and you buy a jar of juice that's supposed to be a 30 or a 60 or a 120 milliliter jar of juice that doesn't look like it's even 3/4 of the way up that 30 milliliter bottle. Remember, the guys who were measuring it out probably measured it out after they put it through the blender to make sure that it's fully incorporated without letting it settle down to clear. As you saw, this is 100 milliliters. This should have been 20. This is actually came out to 36. So you got 136 milliliters here, even though I mixed for 120. And the small amount that I put in there of drops, not that much. Even when I put in the cheesecake in there at as much as I put in, shouldn't have come to this. Okay? So I have to go in there and make the changes on that. I will review this film because I don't remember the exact numbers that I put in there right now. But it still shouldn't have come up to 136 milliliters. Okay? There we go. The volumetric increase on this due to the frothing. As you can see, I put 100 milliliters in there and it was right up to the neck. See, it's already frothing down. The froth is already coming down and it's already dropping. There we have it. All right, I'm going to cut this off right now and I'm going to go and do cleanup and I shall be right back. Okay, here we are back again. Like I said at the very beginning of this video, I made mistakes in here. I left in a lot of the mistakes so you could actually see me making the mistakes. So, I goofed. I blew it. Okay, but that's where it's at. I have comments down below there in the show notes addressing different aspects. If you have any questions about anything that I've done, please drop me a line. If you like this, hit the like button or just go down to the comments down below and say what you exactly you like, what you didn't like, what you thought might be able to be changed. So, like I said, this is what I wrote. This is the stuff that I mixed, and as you can see, it is absolutely beautiful. I'm just going to put this up here so you can see. This is absolutely crystal clear, and this stuff has got such a wonderful peach taste to it. Even at the 5-something% of the peach in here, which I would have liked to have had a little bit more peach flavor, but it's good as it is. The cheesecake in here needs to be bumped up just a little bit more. I'm not sure how much more, but it needs to be bumped up just a little bit more. The cheesecake in here is, I'm using it because that's what I've got. That's my foundation flavor. The way I look at a recipe is just like you're building a house, okay? The recipe is the house. You have the foundation flavor. When you go in there, it's the basic flavor that you build everything else on. All the other flavors that's in there, all the highlights, all of the mid-range flavors, okay? Those are going to be in there, but the base flavor, that's what you're looking for. Now, if I would have put in more cheesecake in this, it would start getting more cheesecake. Now, I could try something like cake batter to give it more of a bakery flavor to it, but it would change the entire complexion of this. I did try it. I didn't particularly like it. The only other thing that I've got here, other than the Capella cake batter, is Capella's sugar cookie. I tried making a small mixer of this using the sugar cookie. It did not work at all. There are a few other ones that might have worked with a very light biscotti in there instead of the cheese flake. Inawara makes a biscotti flavor that I believe Wayne over at DIY or Die absolutely swears by. You can try that if you want instead of the cheesecake, but I have to make use of what I've got here. I don't have an extensive flavor library here, so I can only go with what I've got. Little by little, I'm expanding my my flavor libraries to other things that I hear about, but that's going to take time, and I have to turn around and use what I've got right now. So this is what I'm doing. You know, I've got the stuff here, and I'm making use of what I've got, and that's what I'm doing. Now, there are some stuff. You'll notice that I used Loran's apple flavor in there. Loran's is their stuff is okay, but they're very readily available. So if you don't get onto the internet, you can't get anything like Flavor Art, which is like the creme de la creme, and it's a little, it depends upon where you go, it can be a little bit expensive. The Flavor Apprentice slash Perfumer's Apprentice, TPA, TFA, Capella's Flavor West. Those are some of the other ones. In Awara, there are like a half a dozen other ones out there that I've heard of. In the next video, I will try to make a listing of all of the different flavor vendors that are out there so you can have at least the names of them. I will try to get websites for you on them. Some of them I will be able to, some of them I won't. Companies like Flavor Art here in the States, you can't get it directly from Flavor Art. Flavor Art North America or Fana will not sell directly to an individual in small, like 30 milliliter bottles. The smallest that they'll sell is a kilo of flavor at one time, which is roughly a little bit less than a liter, or right around a liter of stuff. It comes out to about a kilo. That they'll sell, but not for and that's a lot of flavor. A kilo of flavor will last you for years, literally. It'll probably go bad before you finish it all. For things like flavor art, you can go to different vendors out there: Bull City, One Stop DIY, My Freedom Smokes, places like that. There's a lot of different vendors out there that you can actually go out and get flavor art stuff from. TFA, the Flavor Apprentice, you can get from, I believe you may be able to get from them directly. Loran's you can buy directly from the company. Capella's, I believe you can buy directly from the company. Flavor West, I believe you can. You can also get them from vendors as well. There are vendors out there that sell it in the smaller bottles. If you don't know a flavor, if you're not sure if you're going to like it, order one of the small little dram sizes, like this. This is a Loran's bottle. This is wintergreen. This is actually an oil. So don't even think about using it. That's why there's that big X that's on there. That's for me to easily be able to see that this is not to be used. I originally purchased this with the thought of using it in vaping, but I realized that this has got oil in here. Never, ever, ever get anything that's got an oil base to it. It's going to ruin not only ruin your tanks, your addies, but it's going to ruin your life. Okay? Stay away from anything that has oil in it. Even the Loran's vanilla flavor has almond oil in it. It's a no-no. Any oil in there at all, forget about it. Don't even think about it. Stay away from it. There are a couple of there's a couple of sheets out there that have all of the stuff that Loran's makes that you can actually use. It's color coded for ease of reference. A lot of the stuff that a lot of these flavor vendors now, not Loran's, but like Flavor Art, TPA, I believe Flavor West may actually be putting out vape-only flavorings. I think Capella's is also putting out vape-only flavorings. They're putting out their version 2 of stuff now, which has no diacetyl or acetylpropanol in it and is actually a alcohol base that you can use for your vaping. It's either a water base or not an alcohol base. Duh. It's been a long day. This is getting on like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just getting around to doing this because I just got through doing the editing on this. So yes, you can use it if it has alcohol in it, but you need to leave it open so that way the alcohol can evaporate out of the mix. Most of the stuff has most of the flavorings that we use in vaping are PG based with the flavors in it. So those are actually the best ones to go with. And of course, if you're using any recipe manager where it's going to, you put in the percentage that you want and it gives you the actual figures of how many milliliters or how many drops that you put in there. It will turn around and will usually have a place in there where it'll ask you whether the flavorings are PG or VG based. And you just put in PG or VG depending upon what it is. All right, I'm just rattling on here right now. Just trying to fill in some of the little stuff around the edges that I'm sitting here watching the video myself after compiling it from all of the cuts and everything else, and I'm trying to think of things that you guys might have that comes up in your minds when you're watching this. So if you got specific questions, give me a little message here on YouTube, and I will try and write you something. will try to keep it from novel length. I'll try to keep it at least short story length. Okay? So, all right, having said that, I'm going to get out of here. I've got a lot of other things to do, and besides, I'm getting pretty damn tired, so I need to go and hit the rack for a little while. Everybody, once again, thank you for coming. Thank you for all of your support for me and my channel. Thank you for coming, and take care. May the wind be at your back.